having self-awareness, having emotional intelligence, becoming aware of your triggers, all of these things that we learned through my program are freeing.
I want to change lives. I want to show people how to progress in their money. I want to show people how to progress in their mindset. I want to show people how to progress in their brand so that way they can take care of their family, take care of their finances, and experience freedom.
All right, today I'm joined by Riva for our Progretta podcast, where we're showcasing our entrepreneurs and their successes through our platform. In a quick snapshot, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your business?
Yes, ma'am. So my name is Coach Riva of Blue Jay Fitness. It is a private online coaching company. Um, I guess I started my business out as a hobby where I kind of grew in my community first. And then I just had this bigger, better version of myself, my business. And I wanted to be able to grow that beyond just my community. Um, which is kind of why, I'm working with Progretta to try to expand what I'm currently doing and bring it to Dallas, because I started in Louisiana, so I'm trying to bring it out to Dallas now.
How's it been going in Dallas?
Amazing. It's been going amazing. It's definitely been a good transition. Very much so needed. I am from a very small town in Louisiana called Reserve. All right. So being from Reserve and moving to Dallas is definitely it's a huge change in environment, is a huge mindset shift. But I've been able to use Progretta to meet a lot of, new connections around here. So it's been wonderful. It's been wonderful.
Awesome. So what made you get into fitness in the first place?
So honestly, I like to dance. I like to dance. I like music. I think it makes everybody move. I think it makes everybody get active. I coached cheerleading for probably about 6 years of my, I guess, junior high, high school, college career, um, all together. And I would do choreography, dance moves, and it was just something that brought me joy and fulfilled me. And people just kind of started gravitating to me. So I think this kind of chose me, my passion chose me. And then I was able to actually bring it into a full business kind of when I started exiting my daytime job. So I am an educator. I taught children with autism for 15 years.
Oh, wow.
Yes, before growing this business into what it is. So I mean, from there, as the business grew, it kind of pushed me out of my 9 to 5. So I guess it's just something that I'm passionate about, and is the energy, that gets people motivated and attracts them to what I have going on.
That's awesome. I didn't know that. um, but awesome. So what attracted you to Audate Media? What brought you on to using Progretta?
So I'm a very spiritual person, all right. So the Blue Jay of Blue Jay Fitness means a lot to me. I definitely was already searching for someone to help me bring what I had to the next level. All right, I've been doing this for about 3 years now, and this vision of myself, I cannot let it go. So I ran across him initially. It was a summit, and I attended that summit, and I listened to him, kind of researched a little bit more into Progretta, because I had used the CRM before, but I don't think I ever understood the power, of it, to help me elevate fast. All right. So when I did that summit, it kind of allowed me to want to dig in a little bit more and look at the tech stuff and what I was able to do. Now I will say, the tech stuff I'm still coming along with, but I can definitely see how my ideas can be put into play using Progretta, the ideas that I do have.
Okay. So I heard you mention that you had a CRM before Progretta?
Yes.
What do you think was the difference between that one and this one that made, this one made you stay and use it?
Because initially when I used it prior to, I was only using it for one sole purpose, because that's all I knew how to do.
Mm.
So eventually that got old to me, and I was ready to do something different and something else. And I really didn't have anybody to kind of break down the dynamics of the possibilities of what can be done on a platform until I seen, Andy explain it the way that he did. And so not only did he do that, he gave me an example of how I can take an idea and like put it into automation on Progretta. So I was like, okay, I had no idea what the tool that I had in my hand, I had no idea how to use it.
Yeah, I know CRMs, I know they're a lot, they can get overwhelming, but used correctly, you can get so many great results from it. So I know you just had a webinar, right?
Yes, ma'am.
How'd that go?
Well, first of all, I think that was my first webinar that I'd done. But I felt like I came up with a little sickness prior to, and maybe it was because I was nervous. That was my first webinar, but I think it went exceptionally well. I will say I didn't get a sale. I'm discouraged about that, so I'm definitely gonna mention it. I didn't get a sale during the actual webinar, but it definitely felt good going through that motion, being able to talk and connect with women and still knowing that I had something to offer them that could help. Because at the end of the day, for me, this is about helping people and getting them from that stuck place that they're in. So it was good.
And that's great. Well, hopefully the next time you have one, you get a sale. But it's awesome. You got to start somewhere. How did Progretta facilitate that webinar?
So with Progretta, I was able to get everybody, everybody updates, everybody's information. I was able to send out my link prior to the webinar starting, and then set up a reminder. That's pretty much the most I did with Progretta on the front end of things. On the back end, I am also reaching out to those who did attend the webinar, just as a follow-up to see just to give me some feedback so I can kind of make this better for the next time I do it.
And have you received any feedback back?
Yes, so I just did this webinar on Tuesday, so I am just getting a few people that are reaching back out, saying they want to do an interview, and then I'll kind of just follow up with them, and hopefully they'll join something that I have, by the end of that call. But definitely on the front end of things, on the back end of things, and then of course I'll nurture those relationships that I gathered, during that process of getting the webinar together.
Yeah, so there's still hope for a sale. That's what it's sounding like. Sometimes some people need to think on it.
There's always hope.
Yeah.
There's always hope for a sale.
You casted your net, so it's out there. So hopefully it brings a fish or two.
Yes, indeed.
All right. And before joining Progretta, what do you feel was the biggest issue your business was facing?
I guess I would say the biggest issue that I was having was I was kind of being burned out a little bit. So because I'm doing 100% of my sales calls, not just sales calls, the marketing, getting people in and through the door, it could be kind of taxing on me, because that's not where I want my energy to be put. It's not the most fulfilling part, I guess, about what I do. I love to dance. I like to be out there. I like to be on the scene. I like to spend time with my clients, and not necessarily on the phone trying to get people, on a call with me, trying to explain my program and everything like that. So that has been, I guess, the biggest struggle for me, is to kind of help me get off the front end of things a bit. That way I can spend more time doing what I love to do. So
Yeah.
I think that was the biggest struggle for me. And now I am getting a little bit more, I guess, relaxed in that front end state where some of the pressure is taken off because I have some automations going. So I know something is running even when I'm not. So it feels a lot safer for me to go ahead and put energy where I feel energy needs to go, Um, so that was a struggle prior to Progretta, and I guess I kind of say where it kind of filled in as well. Definitely on that front end for me, because I need to focus on really fulfillment and sales at this point. So it's kind of helping me fix certain parts of my system. One part's going okay, the other part's going great. So now I got the front part, consistent, which is great. It's consistent. And so now it's time for me to focus on, what I'm freed up to do.
Yeah, well, I'm glad Progretta was, able to take at least one hat off. Because I know as an entrepreneur and when you're running everything yourself, it's hard because you're behind everything. You're wearing every imaginable hat.
Yes,
So
indeed.
I'm glad to hear that it's taken off some of the pressure. And I know you said it was some of the automations. So what automations so far have you felt that has served you the best?
So, I mean, the only one so I haven't ran a lot, but this one with the Facebook ads has really been going well as far as booking appointments.
Mhm.
So every single week I can say now with consistency, I have people reaching out to me and I have people to talk to. All right. Versus
That's the goal.
right, versus the energy that I was spending initially on that front end, what I was telling you, trying to get people and find people to, interact, engage with my content or whatever. So that helps tremendously, and so I'm sorry, let me go back. What was the question again?
Just so far, what automation have you seen has been the most successful for you?
All right, I just wanted to make sure I answered it, but definitely that Facebook and getting those appointments on my calendar, that's probably the most impressive to me so far. I will say I do have some other ideas that I want to put in play. Like I say, I like to be outside. I would love to see Progretta free me up enough to where I can reach out to the contacts that I've made in Dallas and do an actual live boot camp, and get that going just so I could get away from this computer for a little while and go outside. I want to go outside.
We're outside. Oh yeah, no, I know what you mean. It gets tough, when you're just stuck behind your computer screen and it's a beautiful day outside. So I totally understand, and I'm confident that Progretta can get you there, just the same way as the webinar, the same items that were used for that, you can replicate that for your boot camp. But that's great. So when are you planning to have this boot camp, or, tentatively?
Within the next month, it needs to happen. All right. I'm going to be like, I need some outside, right? So I'm kind of accustomed to just choreographing routines, getting out there with my community and really being hands-on with people. And so I guess as a part of this process, this is the sacrifice of it. Now I'm behind the phone taking calls, throughout most of my day. And I would prefer to be outside. I really would.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we get you through that shift. But other than automations, do you have a feature on Progretta that when you first used it or first discovered it, you were like, oh my God?
So I think my very first oh my God moment was when I had this whole list. I had probably had like 1,000 contacts just prior to, and I imported them all into Progretta. And then it's gonna sound so simple, but just this tag feature and being able to tag everybody based on the connections that I have with them is so important to me when we talk about like just managing contacts, because I'm able to communicate so much more effectively, all right, based on what I need at the time when I get on there. So having people that I know that's in there, that's in my network marketing, I know that's something totally separate, but I also am planning on doing wellness trips yearly as well. So when I get that going, like I know how I'm going to communicate that way down the line. Like this is in my head. And this is like in another couple of months. So having that tag feature, putting all my CMOS clients together, like I have a whole bunch of people that just come and get supplements from me. So being able to communicate with just them and share information that I know they specifically need because of why we connected in the first place. That's awesome to me. I know that's like not a big old thing, but those tags, what everything to me. Even though I haven't been able to put the things that I have in my head into motion, it's definitely been able to kind of get me, I guess, seeing how I can utilize this in more ways than just one. So I'm managing my relationships now, not just Blue Jay Fitness, you know.
And that's what Progretta aims to do. Oh no, I love tags. Like anytime I'm explaining to one of our clients like tags, and they're like, they look at me and I'm like, no, this is like a very important tool. But that's great. I mean, the awesome thing with Progretta, it's so easy to add tags to it, to change them, to create lists from them. So I'm really glad that you love them, because I really love adding tags and explaining it to people. I'm like, it's just another way of organization, but like it changes the way you reach out, because you can have clients, just come in one time or two time, but the goal is to create a fan out of your clients. If your clients aren't fans, they're not going to want to be coming back.
Right.
But
Yes,
that's
ma'am.
awesome. I'm glad. Okay, so I saw some of the graphics we did for you. They came out really awesome. What was your favorite part that we created for you through Progretta?
As far as the graphics,
Or as graphics, landing pages? Because I know we did a couple of items for you.
yes, ma'am. As far as the graphics, when you say graphics, I just wanted my message to be shown, and those breaking chains and the birds freeing for me, that was, as long as I had that, being, because that's the message. The message for me is to make sure that we are free from really constraints and sometimes diet culture and
Yep.
personal trainers and nutritionists will put you in this box that you have to be this or do these certain things to get this result that you want. And there's so much more to it. There's so much more to it. And it's freeing. So having self-awareness, having emotional intelligence, becoming aware of your triggers, all of these things that we learned through my program are freeing. So for me, as I was looking through the things that were created, my message was there. So that keeps me satisfied. Like as long as I can look at it and see, okay, this is definitely what I mean when I look at this picture, like I'm totally satisfied with that work.
Awesome. And I know you created a course with us. How has accessing the course, sharing the course with Progretta gone for you?
So right now, I would say that I want to see a little bit more happen in that area for me. Like I said, Tuesday was my very first time even offering it to anybody. I hadn't had anyone kind of, sign up or click on it. I haven't even individually gone through every single thing as of yet. So I guess once I get to that point, seeing somebody actually go through this program online would be my next my next win. All right. But I haven't been able to kind of really, I guess, promote that the course as much as I wanted to, using Progretta as well on my end. But right now I'm kind of reaching out to a few people just to see who I can kind of follow up with on the back end to try this course out.
Well, you have those tags to help you.
Definitely.
That's great. Awesome. Um, is there anything else you would like to share with us about your experience with Progretta?
No, I guess not too much. The only other thing that I can say is, kind of my hopes and desires in the next 6 months. So I really hope to step more into an entrepreneurial role and break away from the solopreneur life. I want to be a business owner and actually help other coaches, get on board and kind of learn my philosophy and the way of doing things to really help people at an identity level. So, I mean, I don't care if it takes 6 months or 10 years, that's my vision for myself. That's my goal. If Progretta is that link to kind of help thrust me through that and help me do that, then I'm 100% with it all the way.
We're 100% with you.
I love it.
All right. But thank you for joining me and, discussing your experience with us. And I hope that we can help you meet your goals and exceed them. And I'm excited to continue working with you towards those goals.
Yes, Myra, it was a pleasure. I appreciate it.
Appreciate you too. Bye, dear.
All right, bye-bye.